both YouTube and on Zoom. Welcome, welcome. While you're waiting, why don't you tell us in the chat where you're joining from today? Feel free to say hi. The chat is open on both Zoom and on YouTube. We'd love to hear where you're joining us. Michigan, fantastic. Hello. Welcome, Raleigh. From folks from Raleigh, this is great. Hello, everyone. From New Mexico, how wonderful. And Washington. Fantastic. Hi, everybody. If you're here with a class, you could maybe tell us that too, or a homeschool group. We'd love to hear that as well. And we'll get started in just one moment, just making sure we've got everyone loaded in and ready to go, that all of our friends have joined us. One last minute, feel free to say hi in the chat. Okay, I think everybody is here or they will join us shortly. So let's go ahead and get started because it's Fun with Friends Thursday. And I am so excited you could join us. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabrielle and I work here at Idea Exchange. A couple of housekeeping things to go over right off the top. Just a reminder to everyone that we're going to be kind to each other and to our special guests today. I know we won't have any problems. If you want to chat with us or ask a question of our special guest today, you can do that in two ways. One here on Zoom for my friends on Zoom. You can do that right in the chat there in the chat feature or in the Q&A feature. And over on YouTube, you can chat away with us there. And I have my lovely colleague, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon, helping today in the background. And he will bring those over to Zoom for us. Okay, are you ready to meet my friends? I have a very special friend with us today, Ginalina. Welcome.
Hello, hello. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Happy Thursday. This is so great that you could be with us today because tomorrow's Earth Day and we're very excited. We've got all kinds of fun Earth Day plans coming up, but this is the start of it with you. So thank you, Ginalina, for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's nice to be here. And I am excited to know that there are a lot of students coming in. I heard that some of you are from Michigan, from New Mexico. I know a whole bunch are from Cambridge in Ontario. And I can only imagine that some of you are homeschoolers like my family, and that some of you enjoy the forest like my family, and that some of you spend a lot of time adventuring and exploring. Is that right? Okay.
I think so. I think you must be right. I'm going to let you take it from here and I'll see you in a little bit for those questions.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks so much, Gabrielle. And thank you for Brandon in the background. My name is Ginalina. And for those of you meeting me for the very first time, I'm so honored to be here and sharing this moment with you. I am a singer-songwriter based in Canada, in Vancouver on the West Coast, and I also write books. And so how I started was with writing some music. I had a couple of kids with me at the time, and we went to the forest every single Wednesday, rain or shine. And that time in the forest was so exciting that we decided to write an album together. So I put this together. It's called Forest Friends Nature Club. And I'd like to sing you a song that's from this album, all about getting ready and getting ourselves ready for this forest activity. When you're in the forest, I want you to think about what are all the different animals that you can see. Keep some of those in your mind. It goes like this. I hear something, I'm just going to shut something off on my app. There we go. Just in case, my mom calls or something and tells me to have breakfast or something. Okay. This song is called The Forest Friends Nature Club. And I want you to kind of stretch your hands out a little bit and reach up to the sky, reach up to the sun, and reach down to the ground from wherever you are. If you're sitting, that's okay. Just reach out to your toes. It goes like this. It's a brand new day. You can sing that too. The sun is up, it's a brand new day. The sun is up, it's a brand new day. Things to do and things to play. You can sing that too. Things to do and things to play. The rugged trails lead the way. Come join me. The rugged trails lead the way in the Forest Friends Nature Club. In the Forest Friends Nature Club. I'm going to sing that again. You can join me. The sun is up. It's a brand new day. The sun is up. It's a brand new day. Things to do and things to play. Things to do and things to play. Rugged trails lead the way. Rugged trails lead the way in the Forest Friends Nature Club. In the Forest Friends Nature Club. We're the Forest Friends, Forest Friends, Forest Friends Nature Club. We're the Forest Friends, Forest Friends, Forest Friends Nature Club. Join our Forest Friends, Forest Friends, Forest Friends Nature Club. Come on, Forest Friends, Forest Friends, Forest Friends Nature Club. I've got a question for you. Where you are, what sorts of animals and insects and plants and trees do you see in your forests? If you don't mind setting that off in a little chat note, that would be exciting. Otherwise, you can think it in your mind, or you could just say it to your classmates. You can shout it out loud. All those answers would be great. I'd love to know, what are you seeing in your forest? Because in a moment, I'm going to read you a book called The Lively Forest, based on the West Coast forest that I live close by. And you're going to meet all sorts of animals like chickadees, badgers, chipmunks, deers, brown bears, black bears. And I'm wondering, do you have those animals where you are too? Or are they a little bit more unique? Think about that for a second. We're the Forest Friends, Forest Friends, Forest Friends Nature Club. We're our Forest Friends, Forest Friends, Forest Friends Nature Club. I can see that some of you said wildflowers, irises, pretty birds, cardinals. We don't have I haven't seen that many cardinals here. Towhee birds and deer, squirrels. We've got state birds. Amazing. Okay, I think we're ready to jump into our little book, which also serves as a game. So wherever you are, make sure your eyes are really, really, really big, and make sure your ears are open really, really wide, because we're going to play a game with my book. My book is called The Lively Forest, and I wrote it because I spent a whole year in the forest homeschooling with my kids. And this is the second book in my nature series. So for some of you who might have access to my website, it's beautifulworldbooks.com. And you'll see this book behind me is called The Mighty River. And The Mighty River is the first book of this series, and it talks about all the animals that you see by your river biomes. And this book is called The Lively Forest, and this is the cousin or the sister, and it introduces you to the Pacific Northwest. The Lively Forest, written by Ginalina and illustrated by Kelly Wills. I'm going to give you a moment to look at that cover there and to see what can you spot. Do you know what the name of this bird is? Oh, a goldfinch. Oh, raccoons. There is a raccoon in this book as well. And you see these three? These three are very special because they've got matching coats. These bunnies have matching coats. Rabbits. Okay. The Lively Forest. Here we go. What do I see? What do I see? The lively forest all around me. This is your first hide and seek game. How many animals can you identify on this page? Give you a moment. Siskin bird, Douglas squirrel, field mice, salamander, raccoon, as somebody said, sparrows, nuthatches, robins. 30. That is a great guess. There are over 30 animals on that page. Okay. Here we go. Let's begin. And for those of you who are really observant, you can pay attention to two things. One are the words that I'm saying, and you can see if you can spot those animals. But the second thing is this second story that happens up in these borders. Because right now, all you see there in that border is a seed. Who knows what kind of seed it is? By the end of the book, you could probably see what that seed grew into. 3 morning robins chirp high in the pine. One scampering mole hurries home in a line. There he goes. Lots of pine cones there in his little home. There we go. Bright nuthatch mama brings worms to her perch. 2 fine field mice nibble seeds by the birch. There we go. Oh, that seed is growing. There's a sprout is starting to show. Okay. See the sun shining through the big maple leaves? Can you find the flowers, the wrens, and the bees? There are 2 wrens in this picture, 2 of them. One, and the second one is harder to find. Right inside the hole of that tree trunk. That is the second wren. These maple leaves are so enormous, they're bigger than my head, bigger than my entire head, and I think bigger than your head too. Chickadee has berries, yum, yum, by the bunch. Near the cedars, the badgers dig budworms for lunch. Are you going to have budworms for lunch? I don't think I would like budworms for lunch. Sparrows sip water by the old hemlock tree. Squirrel scurries upward. She's as fast as can be. For those parents and teachers who are also here in this book reading, I want to tell you that I watched an amazing video yesterday of a squirrel maze, and it features the intelligence and the flexibility and the athleticism of squirrels. And it's on Mark Rober, who's a NASA science engineer. It's on Mark Rober's YouTube channel. So if you can just tuck that in the back of your mind, Mark Rober, flying squirrels, squirrel mazes. So much fun. Okay, let's keep going. Quiet goldfinch rests and the alder trees bend. Frisky foxes play games where the roots start and end. Ruby-throated hummingbird is proud of her nest. Cobwebs and twigs hold it together best. What is your bed made out of? Is your bed made out of cobwebs and twigs as well? Or is your bed made out of cotton flannel sheets and maybe some nice wooden panels on the back headboard? Well, the ruby-throated hummingbird loves her cobwebs, twigs, sticks, moss, lichen. I'm sure her nest is very comfortable. A speckled horned owl glides into the night. Woo, woo. Over the firs, he floats in the moonlight. I love this image of a grandchild and a grandmother going owling. In the mossy oak tree, warbler warbles all day. Spider waits in her web while deer jump and play. And some of you said that you spot deer where you are. Well, let's see if you can see this deer here. All of these pictures were illustrated based on real life pictures of animals. So this is what deer can look like when they're jumping and playing. Okay, let's go. Noisy young woodpecker, tap, tap, taps out a beat. Clever pine chipmunk hides his tasty treat. Ooh, what is going to be a treat for later? Pine cones, acorns, nuts, seeds of all sorts. One handsome blackbird sings a song on the breeze. The wasps twirl around with the sycamore keys. Do you see the sycamore keys floating down like helicopters, down, down, down to the ground? Cotton sheets and wood. I'm just skimming some of your comments as I'm going by. That sounds like a comfortable bed. Okay. 5 tiny wren eggs are ready to hatch. Under the maples, 3 bunny coats match. We talked about these bunny coats before. They're spotted, lovely. And I wonder what book those girls are reading. Maybe they're reading The Lively Forest. Siskinbird and midges flap their wings in the air. 2 black bears tumble in the spruce. Over there. Here they are. And the midges are all flying about, and the siskinbird is flapping her wings. It looks like this is a lovely hike for the day. Did you notice that? Did you notice that the seed has bloomed and blossomed into a giant tree? Sequoias stretch tall over snails and butterflies. What a beautiful place underneath the big skies. And I think we can all agree that the forest is abundant with all sorts of curious critters and creatures and plants and animals. And if we sit there for even just 1 minute, we'll be surprised by all the things that appear. We're back at the first page, which is also the last page. What do I see? What do I see? The lively forest all around me. And I'll give you one more moment to take a look at all these animals and see if maybe you can't identify one new animal that you didn't know before we started this book. I've got so many favorites here. Oh, the foxes, the frisky foxes, the badgers digging for budworms, the ruby-throated hummingbird and her comfortable nest. Oh, we've got a little mole running, scampering home in a straight line. Oh, and the deer are jumping. Lots of things to see here. And I see some of you are counting these animals. Are there 35? Are there 30? I believe there are over 35 animals. And for those of you who might have access to your internet, at some point, you can always go and print off some activity sheets. These ones happen to be in Chinese, but there are English ones there. And you can print these ones off and you can cut them out and stick them onto this sheet as well. Or you could visit the Idea Exchange Library. That would be a great idea too. I hope you enjoyed this book with me, The Lively Forest. Now, there are more surprises in this book that I haven't quite gotten to, but I'll skim over some of them so you know, in case you ever decide to borrow it from the library or order one for yourself as a gift or to read, keep in your room. In the back of this book, there are facts about the mighty forest or the lively forest. And it talks about how forests cover a great deal of the planet, almost 30%. So 3 pieces of a pie that was cut into 10 slices. That's a lot of forest. That's a lot of pie. There's also a place for you illustrators and artists and people who like to write stories of your own to write about your experiences in the forest and to draw your favorite animals. And my favorite part, which Gabrielle might talk about a little bit later, is a page called Ideas to Protect the Lively Forest by kids. By kids who are age 8, 7, wait a second. Are any of you 2 years old? 3, 4? I'm sure some of you are 5 and 6. Maybe some of you are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In the back of this book, there are ideas and suggestions by a whole lot of students who are in those ages writing about how to protect the forest. For example, Mackenzie, who's 9, says, stop using plastic. And John, who's also 9, says, use reusable water bottles, containers, and bags. And William, who's 6, says, be nice to people. If you're nice to people, then maybe they'll have a little bit more respect for the things around them. Could be the forest and the animals as well. I want to sleep in the forest. That's Blake, age 2. Maybe he wants to sleep in the ruby-throated hummingbird's nest made out of cobwebs and twigs and lichen and moss and all sorts of other things like that. Maybe some leaves. I hope you enjoyed this book, The Lively Forest. Now, I've got time to sing another song before we do questions and answers. So I'd like to share a very new song that nobody has ever heard before. Would you like that? I hope so. I've got 2 guitars that I could choose from. One is my guitar with 6 strings, and the other is a guitar that has 12 strings. And I'm wondering, could you just tap in the chat whether or not you would like me to play my guitar with 6 strings or my guitar with 12 strings? Okay, I can see that 12, all of you want 12? Okay, well, let's get out the guitar that has 12 strings. So they're the same notes here, but they're different octaves above. So each string is actually doubled. Let me fix that one a little bit. I'm excited to play this one. This guitar, sometimes I like to name my guitars. Well, actually, I always like to name my guitars. And this one I haven't quite settled on a name, so maybe you might have an idea for me. Right now it's called Blackbird, but I think that you may have some good suggestions as well. Okay, Greta, I don't know if you wanted to call this guitar Greta or if your name is Greta. Either way, Greta might be a nice name for this. Inspired by our environmental. Okay. A brand new song coming out, and it will be ready later on this year. So if you're on Spotify or if you're on YouTube, my name is Ginalina or Ginalina Music. And all of this music, over 75 songs I've got all about the forest and home and fun times and songs telling you how important you are all available. This song is new, so it's not there yet, but I'm hoping that it'll be ready by the end of the year, and this will be on my 6th album. Come a little bit closer to you. Can I come closer to you? Is this too close? Oh, that's too close. Okay, how about this? This is a little bit better. This song is dedicated to all of you. It's the very first time that I'm singing it, so I hope you enjoy it. Caterpillar has a story, a very special journey, from egg to larva, chrysalis, and then to butterfly. Oh, everybody knows she must be strong along the way. 10 patient days, how long she waits to receive her special wings. And deep inside she knows she's meant to gleam and glow. Just do her best, leave the rest, take a risk, time to go. Bit by bit and step by step is how we grow. Turtle hatchling has a story, a very special journey. Born along the sand, he must now find his way to sea. He scuttles and he crawls, he runs and won't give up at all. So young is he, head full of dreams, swimming in the ocean free. And deep inside he knows he's meant to gleam and glow. Just do his best, leave the rest, take a risk, time to go. Bit by bit and step by step is how we grow. We all have a story, our own adventure story. curious and kind, with hidden talents yet to find, making a friend, playing pretend, riding a bike, flying a kite, climbing a tree, cartwheeling, being happy, and deep inside I know we're meant to gleam and glow. Just do our best, leave the rest, take a risk, time to go, 'cause bit by bit and step by step is how we grow. There you go. That's a new song that I wrote. It's called Our Best. And it talks about how caterpillar has to wait a long time and just do their best before the caterpillar can become a butterfly. And how a turtle has to often fight so hard and not give up before it gets to the ocean where it's meant to be. And us too. We can keep on doing what we're meant to be doing. And one day we're going to be not one day, but we are already doing all the things we need to be doing. And one day we're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and just be bigger versions of the person we're meant to be. That's what I have for you for my story time, The Lively Forest. And my concert, sang 2 songs with you. One is called The Forest Friends Nature Club, and this one was a brand new song called Our Best. And I want to ask if any of you have questions. And I hope, Gabrielle, that we do have time for questions, but I'll leave that in your hands.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, Ginalina. What beautiful songs and a beautiful book. I have both your books here, and I love them so much. And I did put the link in the chat. So if you scroll back in the chat, you can see where to order your own copies. And aren't we so lucky? We're the first ones to hear Ginalina's new song. I feel so grateful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Don't forget, if you want to ask Ginalina a question, you can put it in the chat, either here on Zoom or over on YouTube as well, and we will ask. Oh, we've got a great question here, Ginalina. When did you start learning how to sing?
You know, in some ways, the instrument is my my voice is the very first instrument that I learned how to play. Do any of you hum along when you're watching videos, or hum along when you're listening to music in the car, or move your body around when you've got music playing in the kitchen? Or maybe you sing in the shower or in the bathtub? Well, I started doing all those things as well. So I was quite young when I started singing. When I was in grade 6, I started my very first band, and it was a trio, 3 of us. And the first song we sang, I still remember it. It's called We've Got to Give Peace a Chance. Now, we never debuted on any grand stages, but I remember that we met together after school to work on that song, and it was a lot of fun. And I just continued to sing because it made me really happy. And I didn't pick up the guitar until I was a little bit later, when I was 16, 17, 18, and more seriously in university. So it was kind of an all through my life sort of hobby.
Amazing. And do you play any other instruments, Ginalina, or just the guitar?
My first instrument that I learned formally in school was the violin, because both of my older brothers, play the violin. And so when I was in grade 5, I picked that one up and I joined the school orchestra, and that was a lot of fun. And when I was 16, I picked up the guitar, and then I continued a little bit more seriously when I was in university, and I played in cafes and in bars, and I traveled to different parts of the world, and I played in all the restaurants and coffee shops that I could find. And a couple of years ago, I started playing the ukulele, and I haven't shown it to you today. So I'm just going to pick one up. I'm going to pick one up and I'm going to show you. So this is my ukulele, And I work with a wonderful company called Kala. So if any of you are interested in learning an instrument or picking up a ukulele for the first time, Kala Brands has a huge variety of really great ones. And I've got one here, and the one behind me is also a version of the ukulele. It's called a banjo-lele because the shape is like that of a banjo.
That's amazing. I didn't even know a banjo-lele was a thing. That's
It's lots of fun.
incredible. Another question here about, well, you mentioned when you were reading your book, Ginalina, you told us that it was illustrated by Kelly Wills. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about, because we have a lot of curious friends about how books come to be. And so how involved do you get with the illustrations with Kelly?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, and I love to talk about it. I hope it's okay that I'm going a little bit over time because I see that it's 11:46. But if you stick with me, I'll make this answer short and sweet, and hopefully we can be done in the next few minutes. The entire process of writing a book takes about 1 full year. So when we started this project together, I knew that I wanted to make not just one, not just two, but I felt like 3 books would be a nice series to illustrate where I live, which is the West Coast, Pacific Northwest biomes. And I wanted to tackle the forest biome, and I wanted to tackle the river biome, and I also wanted to tackle the mountain biome, which includes a lot of forests and rivers. And that's coming out at the end of this year. And so the concept for this was that I was inspired by a song that I wrote for World Rivers Day, which happens on the 3rd week of September. And when I was starting to storyboard, I said, Kelly, who is a wonderful nature enthusiast and also a talented illustrator in the United States, she lives in the Appalachia region. I said, let's create a series of 3 books with a very with a very limited number of colors so it can be kind of unique, almost as if like they're wood cuttings. And so before we even started any book, we decided on the 3 color palettes of these books. And then once I started diving into the stories, I had a rhyme in mind. If you've noticed all of the books, they rhyme. And I would spend about 3 to 6 months researching. So I researched based on my own experiences with the kids. And I also pulled pictures that I had taken when I was out with the kids, but I also read a lot online and in the library about the trees in my area, the birds that visit those trees, the animals that eat the berries and the seeds and the nuts by those trees. And then I would storyboard it together. So essentially I would be providing Kelly with the words and then the specific images of trees that I would like to bring that out, and then the birds and the animals that were also related to that particular page, plus a special picture, if I could find one, of my own family and of my own kids enjoying the forest or the river. And then once we put that all together, Kelly would take it and then mix it up in her mind, in her head, and then she would sketch out 14 panels of pictures and words, which then we would talk about and say, is this kind of the flow that we would like? Is this kind of the picture and the images that we would like? And then once that happened, she would go ahead and illustrate them all. We would edit it and then send it to the publisher. So all in all, the book takes about 1 full year to get ready.
Wow, that's amazing. And some authors don't get to have a lot of interaction with the illustration. So it's so nice to hear about how collaborative your relationship with Kelly is and how involved you are with the illustrations. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, we do have some other questions, but you're right, Ginalina, we are out of time today. It goes by so quick, and it's just such a pleasure to have you with us. And happy Earth Day to you and to your family. I hope you have a chance to get outside. For our friends that are in the Cambridge area, if you are around this weekend, you can pick up crafty creation kits at our Queen Square location tomorrow that are Earth Day themed, or you could join us for our Earth Day party over at our Preston location on Saturday morning at 10:30, and we'll have lots of family-friendly fun activities, and then you can join us for the community cleanup afterwards. So lots of great more Earth Day things coming your way from Idea Exchange. I want to thank all of our friends for joining us today. Thank you so much for being here with us, and happy Earth Day, everyone. Have a wonderful day.